court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was, in fact, Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edward seems a bit on edge today. Ha 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 ha. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. It was kind of weird though, so like, she says the truth is going to be revealed, so I guess he's still going to try to prove that it was, Will Powers who did it, because that's the only reason why I think that he would still involve things right? Because if there's a new scene of the crime, and if there's witnesses of him... Oh no, there were no witnesses of him sleeping, right? Okay, yeah. I guess they're still gonna somehow try to say it was him. I don't know. Ms. D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the studio trailer that day. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez. I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes. I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Murph. Very well, Ms. Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down. So to speak. I entered the trailer. Oh, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That's all. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you? The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me inside. I thought it might be risky to walk. What with that monkey's head toppling over. I see. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it! Oh, this is the final one, eh? Final chapter. Okay. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. By yourself? Yes. And you didn't stop in the employee area? No. Are you always this terse? Yes. Oh dear. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony. The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop banging on your little desk. It hurts my ears. Muff. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. And when exactly was that? I've forgotten. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4, and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5. I would think it was between those times. You would think? Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. Hold on. You had Sal take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the studio too then. Oh, right. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. And what were you doing during that time? Don't hit your disc. It irritates me. Yeah, Mr. You just slapped your desk too? Oops. It was a 15-minute break. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. Do you have someone who can verify this? Sal. No, I mean someone else? One person is enough. If she committed the murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. I had some evidence that she proved she didn't eat that steak. Well, Nick, find anything? I kind of wish she had said a little more. It's hard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said. Somewhere. Well, that's it? Oh. Oh. I guess it... Do I not have pictures of, like, the... Oops! There should be, like, empty plates somewhere, right? So maybe it should be... this? Because if you took the van, then you can't... I don't know, maybe this? No, I was wrong. Okay, no. It has to be at the stakes. Because there's no bones, right, on the plates? There's bones on these plates. Okay, it was that one, okay. Ha! As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say you did not. Well, what's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate? This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, did I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Ms. Vasquez and Mr. Manella ate at a table outside the trailer. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare! Ooh, her face. Ms. Vasquez? Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You need it. I think you burned it at the furnace. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere. Oh yeah, the incinerator, yep. Oh, I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? Meeting the Steel Samurai? You mean killing the Steel Samurai? Order. Are you saying? Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, I like the little samurai note that they did. King! King! She ran into the steel samurai. King, 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 king! And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous? What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it. Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and A. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh, yes, the samurai spear. Yes? I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? I don't know. I don't know. You don't know? What kind of lawyer are you? Quiet. I'm speaking. You don't know? What kind of a lawyer? I don't know whether you could have fought with the spear samurai. Oh, sorry, samurai spear. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning? The samurai spear was not the murder weapon. That. What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I do? I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. What? I guess because it was, like, broken? I guess? I present my proof. The so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Not so fast! Remember that the spear broke during the morning action scene run-through? But someone fixed the spear. It was a security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this? Through the chest! Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed? Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon you used to kill Mr. Hammer? I want to say the fence. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see this murder weapon then. Oops, oops, no. Please, how could you possibly have been the... Oh! It's because... Wait, I want to see that. Okay, so I accidentally presented this, right? I want to see what happens. Nick! Think about this some more. Huh? Think? Please! How could that possibly be even... Oh, I thought it said, how could you possibly be even the murder weapon? She has a point. Okay, yeah, so click this. Thank you. Look at this photo. Well, what is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Oh, order, order! If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through his chest? What are you saying? Yes. What happened 5 years ago happened again. Has happened again. It's like an echo in here. Shoku! Mr. Wright, continue this compelling story. It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Ms. D. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago! Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Ho ho. Very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright. Let's say, for the sake of the argument, that Hammer died at the trailer, as you say. Yet, the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The man. The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body? I guess she had another way. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? For instance... Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. A car in the trunk, duh. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1. And you used a studio van to do it. Shoku. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate's costume. Shaku. Hold on, Bright. Don't forget, it was Sal Manella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a co-conspirator? Yes. Of course Sal Manella has to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Ms. Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. Smarter than you look, Mr. Might. Sorry, Mr. Wright, not... I was gonna say Mr. Might. I lose, you win. It was fun. I win? So, what happens next? Don't me. Don't question mark me. Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost? Something like that. I just said that. Wait, so you mean... D. Vasquez, so it was you. You killed Jack Hammer. Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits. And the result of that battle? You proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right. But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? Nani? Order. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts. Of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Then, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do I do now? Testify again, Vasquez. I'd like you to testify again. Testify again? No vents to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time. Damn. To come so far only to fail. As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of witness Miss Vasquez. Ooh, Edgeworth. Starting to change your mind? Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't. Okay. I see. Very well. Your Honor! You got a question? I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes. Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Ms. Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about? Well, yes, Indeed. Verily, I say. Edgeworth, come on. I don't remember you being so flustered in this game. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter. Nick, why did Edgeworth... Who knows? He probably realized she did it too. But... Wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? Not only that, like I said... So in this game, right, I'm glad Edgeworth said that, but in reality, this would have been a mistrial because the prosecutor should have let the witness go. It would have been the defense attorney's fault that he did not raise a testimony of like, oh, you know, I want to hear a testimony about like what you did after he found the body, right? Because that's the defense lawyer's job, is to prove his defense, his client is not guilty. It's not the prosecutor's side, because that's not fair, right? It's not fair for a witness to come in and to be accused of murder. It's not, especially if the prosecution is the one who called her up. and then they turn around and say, oh, it was you. That's not the prosecution's job. That's the defense attorney's job. It's not the defense attorney's job to accuse her, but it's the defense attorney's job to prove that the client is not guilty. The prosecution should never help the defense attorney like that, because it would be grounds for a mistrial. Same with the defense attorney helping the prosecution side, right? Like the defense attorney was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna help prove my client is guilty. That's also grounds for a mistrial. Or it should be, because like that's not fair. Wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that? Edgeworth. I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying, "He did it." I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my scripts and direction notes. Then I went home. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick, we're real close. She may be acting tough now. If you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. What time was that? We were to meet at 5 for the rehearsal. So I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manila arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help. Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy. But boy? The witness will continue her testimony. How old is D. Vasquez? Oh, I can't see? Oh man, that's too bad. Okay. System was there too, only Powers was absent. Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us. Yet you expect me to be calm? Didn't seem calm enough when I accused you of murder. Wait a second, wouldn't that be the other way around? The other way around? You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for this missing person? I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez? Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing. Poor Powers. I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez, you may continue. I immediately called the police. Then Powers showed up. What was everyone else doing at the time? No one said a thing. It was silent. Completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then silence. Dead silence. Silence. Hey Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. Oh, the security lady, old bag, was quite agitated, pointing at Power saying he did it. Old bag, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going toward the studio. Right, still samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to have also given the detectives that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. That photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hama. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. You asked to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else has questions, and I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that, since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us. Covered for you? Or covered it up for you? There must have been a lot riding on it, with all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. The script and your direction notes? Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio 1 for rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse any... Why? Why? Yeah, why? There was a murder after all. How did you know that if you found the body after you got to Studio 1? Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh yeah, I guess. Very well, Miss Vasquez, please continue. Your Honor! I have an objection to the witness's last statement. I know, right? Phoenix, you are so stupid. Why didn't you object to that? Huh? Think! Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio 1. Yeah, right? Phoenix, I thought you were the one who raised the objection, not Edgeworth. What the hell? Order. Order! Mr. Edgeworth. What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Right, this is absolutely not right. Or are you thinking of changing career change to a defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. Oh my god, there's like a plane flying right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm really sorry if you do. It's so loud. Oh my goodness. I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, sorry, my voice got distracted by the plane. Now, Ms. Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. Yeah, like, you're not supposed to do that, Edgeworth. Like, this is gonna be a mistrial. Huh. So, the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense? What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well. The witness will change your testimony to reflect this reason. I knew that Hama was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I let them be hanged. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal the director? To find something to peg this honor here. Everything we've done till now will have been wasted. I believe you, Nick. Go get him! So, although we found the body. Here, only Power was absent. Call please, and Power shut up. As soon as we did it, I asked to be left out of proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. I knew that Hammer was injured. Hammer wasn't injured. It was, Will Powers. So, what's the evidence that I used that it was... I use this? What do I guess it's this one? Yeah, okay, this one. You knew that Hammer was injured? Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was a Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo. But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending. One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? Because you saw him. I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right, he must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Ms. Vasquez. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Oh. And when was he doing this? Well, it would have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly. Ms. Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Shaku. Shaku. Order. I will have order. Witness. Can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Uh-oh. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing. Yes, you would need a motive. Why would you have killed the victim? If there is a reason, if it is unclear to this court, does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive? Maybe? Okay. I have proof, and I'll show it to you. I presented the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive for this murder. This is my proof. This is the photo from before. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. Why does he have a tennis racket? I thought he was doing samurai movies. What? With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial, it began on that day, 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day, and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here. If you have only talked about Mr. Hammer, it almost seems as if... As if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Ms. Vasquez's motive for murder. She had no motive, Your Honor. It was self-defense. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. Yep. And he wore the Steel Samurai costume to frame Will Powers. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs, in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. Dun-na, dun-na-na. Drama! Some do try to frame Will Powers. Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. Uh-oh, uh-oh, oh. Ooh, crunchy. That sounded very crispy. So, you did do it, didn't you? Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Someone, call an ambulance! Ugh, there's blood everywhere. We're too late. Ah, Miss Vasquez! What happened here? Manuel? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel! Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please, try to remain calm. No, no, how could this... It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel! Manuel! So I guess she and that guy, I'm guessing like they were like in a relationship. Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez! No, my love. Please, please don't die. Please! Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose. Again. Mr. Edgeworth, where's D. Vasquez? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor, as calm and collected as ever. I see. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. Thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds defendant Mr. Will Powers not guilty. Confetti! He's like all like droops shoulders. Too funny. That is all. This court is adjourned. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? Well, yeah, I don't know why. I guess because it's popular? Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... It's because you were the Steel Samurai. Okay, yes, I got the right answer, alright. Because I was the Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting into a kid's show. And as the villain to boot, the kids loved the Steel Samurai. And so, he hated you. So like a real villain. I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time. I think you're missing the point. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. So am I. Congratulations, WP! Oh? Oh! Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back to that sweaty costume man. Oh, that's right, the show is cancelled. He doesn't know! Is something wrong? No, of course not. Ah! Nick! Edgeworth! He's so angry. His face is so angry. Say something, Wright. I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? You're the one who approached us! Do you have something to say, then say it. That was too bad, Edgeworth. Don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar. Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I'm saddled with unnecessary feelings, huh? Feel a little sin? A little dere? A little tsundere? Awakening some forbidden feelings? Maybe something that starts with the letter Y? And ends with everybody going E? Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty and nervousness and warmth and butterflies in my stomach. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your beautiful face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Mr. Wright? Was that guy your friend? What? Friends? As if! They're rivals. Rivals! Right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? And why do I get the feeling the next episode is about Phoenix Wright and Edgeworth's friendship? Come on, Nick, tell me. What's the deal with you and Edgeworth? Oh, here comes a foreshadowing. And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kid shows again. Oh god. Nick! This is it! The new show starts today! You're going to watch it with me, right? It's kind of weird that a new show is copying the same theme song from the previous show. I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go with it. You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant. That's kind of weird that they gave Cody the name Cody, but they don't give the assistant the name Penny Nichols, and I think that's slightly sexist, just a little bit. Like, a little kid gets a name drop more than like an adult woman. That's not fair. Alright, the assistant's name is Penny Nichols. It's a cute name. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. It's the end. Ooh, spooky.